Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sonic Frontiers, where Sonic is still recovering from the icy binge.
Let it force its discussion?
No, he's got brain freeze. Okay. Well, you never drank an.
I don't think I've ever experienced.
You never
brain
drank
freeze.
an icy too fast. It's like this.
No, well, I don't really drink ices. Period. But it's like anything that's overly cold. No. Because if anything, like I never had a brain freeze, but I've had like experienced pain in my teeth, like when I was young, because didn't take care of my teeth. But never had brain freeze.
Brain freeze. Well,
I have anyway.
You missed out on something truly terrible then, because holy shit.
Oh,
it's
man.
like it's a weird pain yet not pain that flares up when you ingest something cold too quickly. And it's like right above your eye, and it's like it's so abrupt that you just kind of have to stop everything you're doing and thinking about and hold your head. So
that sounds terrible. Why would I do that?
Well, you don't do it. It just
because
sort of
the
happens.
icy is so good. Like ever since I was a child, I've had a problem with eating and drinking too quickly, which is something that you actually absolutely should discourage your children from doing, because it actually because chewing is an important step in the digestive process, and if you eat too quickly, it causes problems down the line. But
I just get hiccups easily.
you get well, that happens to me sometimes too, I guess, but
It depends on what I'm eating, but I do get hiccups pretty damn easily.
I never did understand what causes that. What are hiccups, and why won't they go away once they start?
I've actually never thought about that. Like, what the fuck are hiccups?
BrainScratch comms.
The fact that I'm not getting an immediate answer means that you guys don't know either.
Nope, I don't.
No one knows what hiccups are. They're just hiccups.
I know, like, the answer is just a quick Google search away, but I don't trust Google, especially after yesterday's search of sharks.
Okay, so for the people watching this in the future, there was this weird blip on the Google radar for a few days where, for some reason, when you search sharks, instead of prioritizing the Wikipedia article in its sidebar, it showed the Sonic Fan Wiki. So the text blurb about sharks talked about how they were aliens from the planet Mobius or something. And it's just like, what? What? But it's showing all these realistic ass...
What's going on? That's where you have a big existential
But it's showing
moment.
all these realistic ass pictures of sharks from the actual Wikipedia page. So what's going on there? And I don't know how the search algorithm prioritizes that stuff, but something went wrong somewhere along the line. Anyway, these icy hills around this side of the volcano, I'm surprised that the icy hills only ever appear on the volcano island, but I guess at this elevation it makes sense. The icy hills are actually one of the easiest places to use the drop dash to scale steep areas, because I think the ice was all coated to make you slip down. And in the process of doing that, they did not code the icy mountains to be quite as strictly considered vertical surfaces as many of the other cliffs and mountains in the game are. So as a result of that, if you drop dash on any of the icy slopes, you will go straight up the entire thing instead of stopping 2 feet up like you will on some of the stone cliffs. And that's an interesting oversight. And it also makes it really, really easy to cheese this section when you're trying to get anywhere.
Yeah. I thought it was deliberate. I was very confused as to why I can climb these steep-ass mountains here that I cannot in Island 2.
Yeah, I think it was mainly a programming oversight for how the ice works, but I'll take it. Any amount of freedom that I can squeeze from this game, I definitely will, because, the more I think of Sonic Frontiers, the more I resent the developer-enforced physics restrictions. I kind of just want to go... I kind of just want to boost jump off a hill and go flying, But...
So, hiccups start much lower in your body through in the diaphragm, the dome-shaped muscle between your lungs and stomach. Normally, the diaphragm pulls down when you inhale to let air into your lungs and then relaxes when you exhale so air can flow back out of your lungs to exit your nose and mouth. But if something irritates your diaphragm, it can spasm, which causes the reaction and the noise.
So that's what happens when you're eating. The diaphragm, I think, is also what makes your belly expand when you're breathing. So don't stop that. Don't stop that to make yourself look thinner, guys. You're actually like interfering with your own breathing by doing that. Anyway, this challenge continues to be the most pointless fucking thing. Well, the second most pointless fucking thing after the parrying challenges, I guess. But what is this? Come on.
Yeah, there's nothing challenging about this.
This is the most like boring game of DDR I've ever seen. And I've watched myself play DDR, so...
It's like put all the objects in the correct shaped hole, and they're all circles.
Yeah. The thing is, like, there aren't really any penalties for not doing it fast enough, and you have plenty of time, so... Whoa. The only danger you'll ever encounter while drop dashing over the ice is that you might go further than you expect.
It was funny. I didn't. Maybe it's just how my brain is wired, but I didn't immediately look at that as ice. I thought it was like some sort of like metallic sheen.
Huh. I mean, I guess that makes sense. You don't automatically expect to see ice in a volcanic region, but
it's also high up in a mountain, though. Too. That's what I should have thought about.
That's
too.
something that you're likely to like not immediately think of until you stop to consider it. I like how one of these stupid rail grinding bridges that you need to use to get to the sub islands is so far off the beaten track it's actually on top of one of the icy mountains, and I'm willing to bet that a lot of players missed that. Another thing that I didn't know until well after my first playthrough was that all these like octagonal I'm trying to get the
Sonic want wrench.
Trying to get the memory token. Game, please. Anyway, all these octagonal pillars that you see sticking out of the ground are climbable objects. They don't look like it, but they are. So you can climb around and jump around on those things freely. So that's...
And you went back for it.
So you really went around the long way to go get it.
Of course I do. I don't want to waste any fishing tokens on memory tokens. Come on.
I mean, I will if I feel like doing the fucking obstacle course.
Every time you buy a memory token at Big's fishing spot, that's like coins you could have spent on the character levels. So I actually paused there and I'm like, wait, is there another one? But no, it's just a 1, 2, 3. There you go.
Can you complete a Rubik's Cube?
No. I think I did when I was younger. I don't know if I could necessarily do it now. I
can't do it. At most, I can do 2 sides. That's it.
I did spend a lot of time on Rubik's Cubes when I was younger and, like, you know, passing time at a babysitter's house. But and when I say when I was younger, I mean when I was, like, really young. When I was a young, cheerful, outgoing little kid instead of a jaded, quiet, introverted adult.
Who does commentary with a bunch of other chuckle fucks.
You know, before the changeling replaced me. But at this point, I don't think I knew that you could climb those things. I think that
there are a lot of these below the island too, and there is a lot that you can jump on. But there, at some point, you will just run into an invisible wall. Yeah, I was kind of bummed out by that too, because it looked like there should have been shit underneath the island.
I tried to boost jump off the ledge, but I got stuck to the side of it and ran straight down. Like that. Yes. So, anyway, how far along the Volcano Island plot are we?
Not very far.
Yeah,
you've mostly been faffing about and getting maps.
I'm still in the I'm gonna get all the optional shit before I progress the main plot state of mind.
Mm-hmm.
On Island 5, that doesn't really matter because the main plot is entirely just collecting Chaos Emeralds until you get to the end. And, like, 90% of Island 5's cutscenes are just side story scenes with Sage. But, you know... Oh,
Lots of train of thought.
I was about to look off into the horizon and say something possibly pretentious and maybe insightful about the Starfall Islands as a setting, but the moment I opened my mouth to do so, a big old formation of platforms popped into existence 2 feet away from Sonic's face, and I forgot about it. And isn't that Sonic Frontiers in a nutshell? Really? You know?
Sonic Frontiers in a nutshell after a certain point was just, I didn't mean to hit that dash panel. I guess I'm going this way now.
Ain't it the truth?
Island 5 is full of that shit.
Yeah. From Island 3 onward, they also start doing this thing where a lot of the treasure icons aren't actually like treasures, but springs and dash panels.
Yeah.
That launch you into...
Like, man, this is worthless.
I don't want to go that way. I just finished that obstacle course by entering it from the back.
Imagine opening a treasure box and it's just a fucking road sign to, like, the next interstate. And it's like, well, what the fuck
Isn't that what finding the compass in a Zelda dungeon is?
No, that's a randomizer when you get the map after beating the boss.
And now you know
you can just run up these things. That's so weird.
You can run up any climbable surface. You just have to boost. To get the most speed when you're running up them, you have to start boosting before you make contact, though. I'm not sure why they don't let you start boosting while you're climbing, but yeah, they don't. Watch the homing attack stepping stones, because some of them are going to drop like cogs and frickin' wrenches. Alright. What am I doing? Why am I going this way? I think I was just
Sonic's feet kind of went into his head there.
I think I was just so fascinated by the discovery that you can climb these things, because I discovered that while recording. And I was like, wow, I want to see if there's anything to find. Of course, there's nothing to find, because life is pointless. But, you know, it's the feeling of discovery and adventure that makes an open world game worth it. That's why everyone fast travels everywhere in Skyrim. You know, this is a tangent and a half, but I played Skyrim recently with the survival mode turned on. And I had to mod it to hell and gone because it wasn't designed for survival mode at all. But just the fact that I wasn't allowed to fast travel anywhere made everything seem so much more important. And it's interesting that that's the case. Because I actually explored the wilderness, goddammit, and it's actually pretty well crafted. Not well crafted in a sense that you can find your way to places without like a quest marker or anything, but like, you know, you feel like you're actually exploring a wilderness instead of, I don't know, a barren sandbox full of trees. But, yeah.
This has to be like the longest grind route between islands, I think, in the game.
I think it is, yeah. I mean, in previous cases where you had to do that kind of thing, I managed to escape the grind rails. I managed to escape the obstacle course. I'm gonna do some paraloops of victory. Why am I doing?
No, I think you're just trying to get memory tokens.
I am just trying to get memory tokens.
So you don't have to come back.
It's like, fuck
There's
this, man.
8 of them. I need like 10
on.
left. And
This is what speedrunners do, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you will eventually get. Oh, and the moment I gave up, one spawned. Okay, thanks.
You got 3 there.
I did get 3, yeah. But like,
yeah.
I gave up and moved on to the obstacle course because I got tired of running in circles. And I'm like, and then a wrench just floats above my head, and I'm like, wait, what? Okay. Anyway.
Hey, Tails, I found your wrench. Where? Everywhere.
Why did I just do that? Why did I teleport away from that island?
Beats me.
I don't have fast travel yet.
No, don't you have fast travel to the Elder Cocos because you got them on the fishing?
But was there an Elder Coco next to the Tails mark?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think that's why he was questioning why he did that.
Well, no, why he did that is another thing. He said he doesn't have fast travel yet, but it's like, no, you would because you found big.
No, I mean I can't like fast travel between the portals.
Oh, those, yeah.
Yeah, because I fast traveled away from that little island that took forever to get to, and then I don't think I have a quick way. I don't have a quick way to get back. I think I just gave up on getting that cutscene now, and just.
I think you're just so tired that you didn't have enough wrenches to activate. It's like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, I'm like, I hear people say, oh, speedrunners just run in circles so that they can get the collectible, and I'm like, it must be really boring to be a speedrunner sometimes.
Well, I think in that particular case, Ryan said, because you only had a small amount left. Because even I would think that, no, you don't fucking run in circles for like 30 of the fucking things. But if you only have like 2 left, yeah, just run in circles for a little bit until you get the other 2.
Until you've got...
It would be faster than just going out of your way for an obstacle course and then coming back.
I mean, if you got 2 left, but I had like 11, and I'm like, nah.
It was 8.
I think it was 8 after I'd already gotten one. I'm not sure, though.
No, it was 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. That counterattack is satisfying.
Well, no, I love it. Like, I just wish the combat was a little more free flow.
Yeah. Platinum Games, this ain't. I really need to buy the PC version of Nier Automata one of these days. Like, I have the game on PS4, but I don't have my PS4, so yeah, PC. I need to get a PC.
I recall the PC version not being as optimal as it could have been. Then again, it's been a while since I've heard that, so it might have been patched.
I did actually look at that when I was looking at the PC version on Steam. Some of the problems have been patched out, and others are just like minor annoyances that you can smooth over with a fan patch if you really care that much about it. But yeah, it performs fine now, apparently. I mean, I would be really surprised if Nier Automata had serious problems on this rig, but, like, even if it does, that's just, you know, the authentic Yoko Taro experience. Experience. Yeah, it stutters and jags and jumps back and forth between the same word several times. Now, I remember this. This was, I think
this is a Shamar level.
I think it might be. You know, I'm not really sure. Like, the thing about the Unleashed levels past Act 2, I mean, is that they're all so cheaply made that they blend together. The one thing I'm reasonably sure that this game never does is bring in the DLC levels, though. Because, holy Christ. No, this is Missouri. This is a Missouri level. You know, because you're circling around the big African tree right now. I know it looks like a checkerboard hillside with grass on it, but trust me.
Trust me, it's a tree. I think he might be losing his mind.
In the original level, it's a tree.
Sure it is, Uncle Lewis. We'll get you back to that.
The thing about the extra acts in Sonic Unleashed is that they were all built on the foundation of the main day stage or night stage act. So you would frequently see returning landmarks like the big tree at the end of what's the actual stage name for Missouri? Savannah Citadel. Citadel.
Savannah Citadel.
So you'd see the big old tree way at the start of at the end of Savannah Citadel, and that would be the main set piece of a given level. But
yeah, it's funny. Like, I forget that those worlds had actual stage names, and the only one I can ever think of is Rooftop Run.
Because it's the only one they brought back for a lot of things.
But it's also the only one I never had trouble, forgetting.
Well, I mean, like, the other ones are Windmill Isle. That's easy enough to remember. You know, it's kind of like Green Hill, but not. And then there's Skyscraper Scamper. And it's like, how often do you hear the word scamper in your day-to-day life?
Yeah, I think I'll just keep calling it Empire City. Thank you.
But, you know.
Yeah, but I never called it, I think Shamar was Arid Sands or something like that. Like, I always called it Shamar.
It's also a little weird because some of the levels in Sonic Unleashed go out of their way to have alliterative names, like Skyscraper Scamper or Rooftop Run. But then there's just Arid Sands. Sure, why not?
And Holosko was Cool Edge, I think.
Cool Edge is easy to remember, but mostly because it sounds like a can of, like, a spray can of whipped cream or something.
Yeah. Or a review for, like, Shadow the Hedgehog or something like that.
I don't think anyone's ever described it as Cool Edge, just Edge.
I'm pretty sure Sonic Team described it as Cool Edge.
It helps that Halaska's Day Stage was one of the more memorable ones. I do have good memories of blazing through that one. As opposed to Jungle Joyride, where I remember nothing but pain. I did eventually master that level, but like that was one of the more punishing ones. Like if you wanted to try your hand at taking a shortcut, you had to surrender yourself to the inevitability of multiple deaths before you nailed the timing.
And with enough memory tokens, we could just go right to the end of this island if we wanted, but we got to get the entire map.
I think at this point, some of the side story tokens might actually have higher costs than the main story ones. I mean, that might have been true since Island 1, but I think it's especially true on Islands 3 and 5.
Well, it's especially true as you just continue through the game.
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, some of these get really obnoxious. Island 5 is easily the worst of it. I remember, like, I think I said this before early in the commentary, but like, by Island 5, I said, all right, you know what? I'm just going to big fish the rest of it. And, like, I get so many fucking memory tokens, and I think I have enough, and I go see Sage. It's like 63, and I was like, what the fuck?
I mean, I resigned myself to playing the game as normally as possible for the entire game. In spite of the fact that I knew that I would probably burn out a little by the time I hit Island 5, because I had just finished the game, you know? I played the game, I finished it, I 100%ed it, and then I recorded the entire thing again, so twice in a row, go me. But, like, okay, so I got to Island 5, and I did go make a point to explore the entire island, but I did eventually have to lean on Big's fishing because the cost of getting all of the side story cutscenes on that island is a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, I have to agree. We are now officially at the tail story marker that tripped a lot of people up the first time, because now it's the one where the 3 cylinders are.
Ah, yeah.
Damn, that bird did nothing to you.
I don't think I meant to do that. I think I was trying to do something else.
Christ alive.
And he just flew into my homing attack range. I will commend that the game for at least being like mostly good about the homing attack reticle not freaking out at how much open directional control you have, because that's a thing that could give you trouble in this kind of setting. But the compromise that I think they made in designing that is that you can't home in on anything that doesn't already have an on-screen homing attack indicator, meaning if something is off camera you can't homing attack it, which isn't that big of an issue. I was trying to rail launch myself to the island, but
I'm pretty sure that is another way.
Reasonably close.
Yeah,
I'm too far away to do it from this rail is the thing. I only make it about halfway across the pit. But
that's a viable way of doing it, though. I think it's from a different grind rail. You could probably do it.
That was the wrong angle. But hey, I got a memory token out of it, so. Freedom! These...
Yeah, so if there is supposed to be a grind rail that connects the 3-cylinder island, I don't know where the fuck it is.
I'd have to look at the map, but from my memory, I think you're supposed to approach that island from the like other side from here.
Yeah, you're supposed to come from the far left. You're going the wrong way from where Lewis is now, because I went from the other side of the island. That had a grind rail towards it.
Cadras has defeated me. The island spit me out. The mountain hates me. You know, in the movie, they made this whole big thing about Saruman being the one causing the ice storms on that snowy mountain. But in the book, it was actually just the mountain being an asshole. No joke. The mountain had a bad reputation, and it didn't like dwarves and elves.
So the mountains are racist.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, pretty much. It's funny because the one elf in the group was utterly unbothered. He could just walk on top of the snow because, of course.
Well, that's what that was the thing. Like, what was the justification behind that? Was it because they were lightless, or weightless, or something?
Elves are just absurdly fleet-footed.
Okay.
Not all of the ridiculous acrobatics that Legolas does in the movies is non-canon. Okay. Like, that's just something I completely forgot about. Is like, yeah, they're so flight of foot that they can just walk on top of snow and not sink into it. It's like, you fucking jerk. What a show off. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out where I'm supposed to go, and I'm like,
oh, right. The fucking Death Egg robot that's just here.
It's an assault class Death Egg robot from Forces specifically, which Tails does actually call attention to. So there is some continuity in Eggman's technology here. He's using the same robots that he crafted last game. But, like, the mystery is, what could have brought this thing down? I think the implication was that the Titan did it, but the question is never directly answered.
I mean, what else could take it down?
Besides you, Sonic.
A plucky hero with glasses and a flamethrower?
No.
You really like this rail.
I mean, for all the... I was trying to, like, launch myself, I think. But I discovered as I tried that it's actually, like, really impossible to launch yourself off of completely vertical rails. See, it was at this point during recording that I realized how the physics in this game worked, because I did not discover rail launching and similar tricks while I was playing the game normally. I discovered that while I was recording the game afterward. Ow. Of course the frickin' quick loop would launch me directly into the enemy spikes. Great move, Sonic. Thanks. Phew. I start a recording session thinking, you know what? I'm gonna kick those robots' asses when I fight them. I'm gonna do stylish combos and shit. I'm gonna make Sonic look really cool. And then that happens. And I'm like, nah. I guess this combat system is not one that I'm able to do style combo videos on yet. Donguri, I ain't. Okay.
Hey, Volky, you don't need.
And motherfuckers like jump rope.
Jump rope. This.
Do it 1,000 times for a trading card.
No.
Please?
No. That stuff they put, like, I'm convinced that the only reason that stuff exists in Final Fantasy IX is because some evil developer was like, you know what? Someone is gonna sit here for 6 hours doing the jump rope minigame before they start the adventure.
I mean, that mentality is all over that fucking game for different things. To be fair, like,
and then expects you to get Excalibur 2 in 12 hours.
It's like they know someone is gonna try it, so they put stuff in there.
Yeah. What if some asshole wanted to jump this rope for like 1,000 times? What if some asshole wanted to do this really long fucking arbitrary side quest for a protect ring? What if some asshole really wanted to deliver all those letters? What if some asshole really tried to get to the end of Disc 4 in 12 hours?
Well,
for
I
a
mean,
sword?
letters is a completion quest, and I want to do that, so that's a thing.
Still very tedious.
Only for the second half of the game. The first half of the game is good at getting you addicted to reading the darn things, though. So, by the time you get to the tedious part, you're already trapped.
Oh, so you just jump cut past the solution to finding to get to the 3 cylinders would be.
Now we'll never know.
Yeah, no, I think he found the grind rail.
Look, it took me ages to figure out that I could come at it from this direction. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, good. Then that means you're just like everybody else.
And it's like, if I could see farther and see everything when I look that far, then it would be one thing. You never had this problem in like Skyrim or Breath of the Wild, because the only things that ever needed to fade in from a distance were non-vital things that you did not need to see in order to navigate. And you could probably guess that there were enemies in that tower. You didn't need to be able to see them from a distance to know that they were there, But, like...
Yeah. Easily the worst part of the game, I would say. And just in terms of trying to find how exactly to get to the next objective, because everybody was confused by this part.
I am going to say that when this game does settle down to do an actual, like, in-depth platforming challenge with obstacles and dangers and everything, it really commits to it. So that's a thing.
Were you side looping that barrel hoping to destroy it?
I think I'm side looping that barrel to recover the rings that I lost. Because that's the thing. Like, people say, and you've said, why increase your ring count? Because that just makes it harder to get to maximum rings.
Yeah.
It doesn't if you side loop after every time you get hit, does it?
I mean, the point still stands. It takes longer to get to your maximum ring count if you increase your rings.
Still lose the same number of rings per hit anyway. So you still need to recover the same number of rings after each hit. You're just further from death. And
yeah, but that also depends whether or not if you side loop immediately after taking each hit. If you don't, and it's like, I'll wait for a bit.
And increasing your ring count makes the supersonic bosses less dangerous.
I never had a problem with that, though.
Well, I did the first time, but I went in there with like 40 rings and had to collect as many rings as I could from the boss arena. So I kind of screwed myself there.
Yeah, skill issue.
No, more like a lack of preparation issue than anything. I didn't think... I didn't realize that the boss would be a supersonic boss, so I didn't think to collect rings before challenging it. Now I know.
Unironically, it's like one of my two favorite things to say. Just like as a rib, it's just skill issue, and it works fine on my screen.
Okay, so this cutscene, because this game is cheap, is, I don't know, concept art.
It's animatic.
Animatic concept
like it's animatic.
Yeah. It's like...
It's so weird. Like, it's like one of the only times it happens.
Most games, when they're doing something intensive like this, that they can't do in-engine because of reasons, they just do an in-engine cutscene and pre-render it. But no, we got animatics. Wow, Tails, that was weird. I dreamed I was a 2D object. Yeah, I know.
Sonic Mania was several years ago. You gotta let it go.
Okay.
He's thinking about Green Hill again.
That was on par with Dark Gaia. Easy. Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. Because we're at the end of the part, though. We'll talk about the next part.
Yeah, sure. I think I know where you're going.
Yeah. Because that kind of made me do a double take at one point. It's like, oh, that's cool. They referenced Dark Gaia. Then I'm like, wait a minute.
In the meantime, are you ready to play some Ikaruga?
Not yet.
No, that's the next thing we're doing.
Oh, fuck. Okay. I guess I have no choice.